Hello folks, and I'm being a bit of a wuss today because I am not recording this in the garden because it has been raining. Yeah! It rained in the night quite a lot, although I have a number of water butts and they are still not particularly full, so I need a lot more. But of course, the problem is if we have a lot of rain all at once, then okay, I'm going to be pleased that it fills my water butts. But other people are going to be worried because then we have floods on the other side of it. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I think we're all going to have to start making adjustments for the weather. And I have been thinking about this in my garden and what I do in my garden and what I grow, how I grow it. For instance, a couple of days ago, I had to empty my greenhouse completely because I could not get the temperature below 40 degrees, although I had the windows open and the door open all day and all night. It started off okay in the morning at about 30 and steadily rose. And the tomato plants and the courgettes that I've been growing this year just were not managing. So they are all sitting outside the the tomatoes are sitting outside the greenhouse in their pots. The courgettes I've actually dug into the ground because the pots were it was not going to work with the pots. It's the first time I've grown them, and I think I'm going to have to grow them in the ground. And I think that's true of a lot of things that I would normally have put in the greenhouse, because if we have temperatures like this every year, I'm not going to be able to grow anything in it. It's going to be singed. So that's one of the things that I particularly noticed this year. And I've also had to make decisions about how I use the water I have collected, what I sacrifice and what I feed water. So I'm thinking about some of the conifers in my garden. They take a lot of water. And what is the benefit to wildlife? Okay, there are some benefits with conifers, obviously, but would I be better watering something else that is better for the bees and the pollinators and that kind of thing, and actually sacrifice my lovely conifers because I won't have enough water to provide for everything that I'm growing? And it's the same with the pots. I've made the decision not to grow anything in pots. So my geraniums will not be in pots anymore. In fact, I couldn't grow a geranium last year. They just never got off the ground in the window boxes I had out the front. So I haven't grown them this year. And I'm looking at some of the weeds that do really well, that don't care that they don't get as much water or the soil isn't quite right for them. They grow anyway. I mean, I mentioned the ragwort the other day. It does so well. And it is good for so many things. So perhaps we're going to have to start looking at our garden differently and look at what actually grows and look at some of these weeds that are actually really quite beautiful if we can get over the fact that they're not classed as weeds. And isn't that what all flowers were probably originally, until they were cultivated and produced differently and made into something else? So I've actually been thinking quite hard about my garden, and I've decided that I do want to be watering my vegetables more than I want to be watering my geraniums or my conifers, because I don't think I can have it all. And isn't that the way in life sometimes? You have to make decisions. You have to decide sometimes what you're going to let go and what you're going to pursue. So as I am enjoying the fact that I'm inside and it's raining and the air has become so fresh and everything looks as if it's relieved and taking on all this wonderful water, I'm also thinking about the future and how I think we're all going to have to change the way that we garden, what we grow, what we sacrifice. Let's see. See you later in the week.